Well, hi there, folks. This is your host, ID Jester. Thanks for joining me. And, well, it is now 12:15 a.m. on October 20th. So we have the full released version of Sword Coast Legends. You notice it doesn't say any Head Start access, although I don't see like a version number or anything. You think they would put down like the version 1.0 or something like that. Anyways, we are here to find out what all the hubbub is. So if you've been following along, you know that, well, basically we've been getting access to the Head Starts previous weeks up until today, where we get the release of the full, super full version. And let me tell you, I've been looking around before I started this recording just to see what all this hubbub is about, because they didn't want to ruin any spoilers for the story. So, yeah. So the first thing I'm really interested in finding out about the Dungeon Master mode here. So let's go into Dungeon Master mode. And we will create an editor module. And we'll create a brand new module for this. And we're going to take a look at the DM version that they basically nerfed in Head Start 5, because they didn't want to spoil the story. They wanted to keep everything out, away from everyone. So if we go to locations, let's try locations first. So if we go to create an area, you'll notice we got city, which we've had. We've had A, we had B, we had C, we had D, we had E, which is just a bridge. These are all smalls. We did not have access to this large slums and cemetery, so that's a new map. We did have this one, and we did not have this human city large. So we got a couple new in the city large ones, which is good. Forest, we haven't had this one, the forest along a road. We haven't had forest with castle. I don't remember if we had that one or not. I'll be honest. We did have the small ones, A, B, and C. So there might be a couple forest locations. Mountains. Notice there are still only two smalls. We already had those, so that's nothing new. Grasslands. We had both of those. Swamps, large A and B. Yep, we had all the swamps. Underdark, see, I never did much with the Underdark, so I don't know. This might be a new location. The Forlorn Cliffs. I think we had Underdark A and B is what we think we had. I could be mistaken on that. So this might be a couple new locations in here. Underdark Island. Again, I didn't do much with the Underdark in any of my modules or anything, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But possibly a couple new locations in there. Dugar City, I don't think we even had access to this. So, big spoiler, Dugar City here. Okay. We have a large, a medium, and a small. There's 3 locations there. Okay. I'm not sure what that was going to ruin in the story. There is a Salem, which is a small location that says Heroes Respite. So that's new location. And we're back to city. So you can see not a lot of new maps, just a couple locations. Fortunately, most of them seem to be either medium or large. A couple city, a couple forest, the Dugars, and maybe a couple in the underground. But not a ton of new stuff, actually. Again, we'll have to see. Let's keep looking, shall we? Let's go to creating a dungeon now and see if there's anything new here. So we had Bandicates, we had Castle, we had Catacombs, we had the Drow Caves, we had the Dugar Stronghold, we had the Sewers, the Spider Keep, the Bandit Caves, the Castle. Yep, those are all the same. Nothing new there at all. Okay? So, now, this is where things are going to get interesting. Quests, they don't have anything new. It's basically the same. Give a quest, update a quest, complete a quest. No new options or anything in there. Looks pretty much the same there. Characters, new characters. So this is, I've thought, okay, this is where they're probably hiding. They don't want us to let us know what the new monsters that are going to be in there. And so, let's go check that out. So, still the same. Rogue, Wizard, Paladin, Ranger, NPCs, Fighters, and Clerics are still only the same races. Still Human, Elf, Dwarf, Halfling, Half-Elf. So none of that has changed whatsoever. So it's got to be, they're probably hiding the monsters they don't want to let us know about, right? So we're going to go into monsters now. So if you look at our undead, you will see that there seems to be one or two new things. There is now a Lich down here in the undead category. I think they had Vampire Thrall. I'm not sure if they had Vampire Lord. Maybe not. So, and they didn't have this Izaxu. Not sure even what that monster is. So a couple new ones down here at the bottom. Vampire Lord, Izaxu, and a Lich. Alright, Mercenaries, had all those. Illithids. Pretty sure we had all these, and keep in mind, Illithids are basically just other monsters that have been enthralled, kind of charmed, having their mind controlled by probably mind flayers. I don't think we've actually seen mind flayers up until this point. Looks like there's a few versions of them. But again, a lot of these things are already somewhere else, and they just copied them in here and added a different graphic for their charm ability. Goblins, we already had pretty much all of those. Chieftain, I'm not sure if we had a chieftain or not. Maybe we did. Spiders, these look pretty much the same. I know we had phase spider. I think we had giant spiders. Maybe not giants. I'm not 100% sure on that. Dugar. I know we had Dugar. I never used him, so I'm not sure exactly. But when we go to Underdark Denizens, I can't even think of the word here. This shows you kind of where I'm going with this whole thing. And that, like, if I go to, say, I don't know, Dugar Cleric there. You see, it's Dugar Cleric. But if I go over to the Dugar, they also have a Dugar Cleric, which happens to be the same thing. But he's in two different categories here. So even though it looks like they have a lot of things there, they're actually copying a lot of these things from in multiple categories. Okay, so we'll move on. Underdark Dissidents, again, Drow. I think there's a couple new Drow in here, which happen to be like the Priestess of Woth. I'm not sure if we had access to them before or not. Lady of Spiders, I don't think so. I think we had like the soldiers, assassins, and the wizards, and the hunters. So a couple new Drow. A demon cultist happened to be a lot like the Drow, but with different outfits on. We do have a new cultist zealot there. We had those. I don't think we had the Hezaru or the Virok. I think we had that one there and that one. We had those two, but we didn't have the Hezaru and the Virok. Sewer creatures, same as always. Pretty sure we had all that, access to all of those. Gilded Eye, we had access to all those. Beasts, the beasts are exactly the same as well, and again, some of these have copied over from some of the other categories. We already saw spider eggs, we saw a poison spitter, we saw a phase spider, we saw a giant spider. Dead rats are basically just mercenaries that they've copied into a new category here. Trolls, we had access to all the trolls. Ogres and Onai, I think we had access to pretty much all of those. I don't think any of those might be new. Devils, interesting enough, we only have access to the Imp and the Succubus, which we got in Head Start 4 access, I believe, is when those came on board a couple weeks ago. And we're back to Undead. Yes, that is it. Undead mercenaries, Illithids, goblins, spiders, Dugar, Underdark, Denizens, Drow, demon cultists, sewer creatures, Gilded Eye, beasts, dead rats, trolls, ogres and Onai, and devils. And back to Undead. And unfortunately, a lot of these have been copied from one category into the other. But you will quickly realize there is a lot of normal D&D creatures that are not here. We don't see any orcs. We don't see any kobolds. A lot of the normal D&D creatures. And I'm sorry to say that, like I mentioned, a lot of these are just copied and pasted from other categories into the same category. See, we have a whole spider category, but the spiders are listed elsewhere. We have Dugars, but they are also listed elsewhere. We have Drow, but we also have demon cultists, which are the same, a lot of the same looks. Cultist archer and the Drow archer. Maybe a little bit different uniform and stuff, but sewer creatures again. Spiders, we've already seen. Rats. Gilded Eyes are just mercenaries that they put different equipment on. And beasts, which basically takes creatures from other categories. So not a lot of spoilers here, folks, is what I'm trying to get at. That I can see a whole, new, I was thinking we are going to see some new demons or some new devils. There is, of course, the Lich. If that's what they were trying to hide from us all this time was a Lich. Okay. Couple other minor, I don't think we had this many skeletons, but all they did was bone shard skeleton. They took a regular skeleton and they called it a bone shard skeleton and probably gave it different abilities. Yep, bone shard explosion. Alright, so, okay, well, let's see. What else could they possibly be missing? We're going to create an area here really quickly here. City, yeah, that's fine. Because I want to go into all of our wonderful objects that we can now put down there that have been hidden from us and kept from us, right? Well, let's take a look and see what objects we have. So we have animals. Nothing new. We've had access to all this stuff. Some of it's been kind of recent, like the flopping fish I think we got in Head Start 4, the spider corpse, the wolf corpse, I think were recent additions. Bandicays, I'm pretty sure we had access to all this as well. Now, mushroom cluster green, mushroom cluster pink. The reason I bring these up is because later on you're going to see these again. Barriers, same barriers as we've had, nothing new there. Castle, ornate chair, ornate couch, ornate bench. These are the reason I'm bringing these up is we're going to see these again. Catacombs, not a lot new there as well. City, trash, triangular tent. Okay, containers, same as we've had. Death pool. Oh look, here's a dead horse. Where did we see that before? Oh, let's go under animals. Oh, there's dead horse. Drow torture pillar. Wonder what category we're going to see that under. Hey, let's go into Drow caves. Oh, look. Right there. Drow torture pillar. Ooh, look at these crystals and more crystals and more crystals, right? Well, let's go under... Where's the crystals hiding? I forget. Is it the Bandit Caves? Oh, it was the mushrooms. Yeah, so we got mushrooms. We got mushrooms here. We go out to the forest. We got mushrooms and more mushrooms. How about that? Furniture. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Ornate chair, ornate couch. Ornate bench. I think we just saw these a minute ago. So, yeah, what I'm getting at is here, there is a lot of not new stuff. And they've taken a lot of objects and put them in multiple categories. Here's trash. Here, did we see trash up here in city? I believe it was. Oh yeah, look, there's trash. And it is exactly the same texture and the same everything. I will show you. We will, let's see, we were in sewers, right? So we'll take the sewers. Oh, look, trash, trash. They are exactly the same. So it's not just the same named object. It is exactly the same object. Shop. Let's move over here behind this building so we can actually see the words here. Nothing, absolutely nothing new here. We've had access to all of this stuff. Spider Castle. Same stuff we've had access to. Treasure. Same stuff we've had access to. And that's it. That is all of the objects. So we've had access to pretty much all of that stuff. Pretty much, I mean, there might be one or two that I'm just maybe missing, but there's not like a whole new set of objects. And the fact that they have used the same objects over and over again in multiple categories is very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. I was expecting to see a whole new list of objects. Or not a whole new list, but I mean a continuation of the list of objects that we have been missing through all the head starts. Like I said, some of these are more recent than some of the others. We just got access to the Bandit Caves and the Drow Caves just a couple weeks ago. Stone torch. I bet you that's under lighting too. You want to bet? Stone torch. Look at that. Unbelievable. And they've done the same thing with the objects that they did with the monsters as well, where they've basically taken 40 objects, or in this case maybe 250 objects, and they've copied and pasted an extra 50 of them in other categories to make it look like they have more objects than they really do. So, same thing with the monsters. They've taken the monsters and they've copied them and pasted them into other categories to make it look like they have more than they do. And I don't really see anything that is like so awe-inspiring, shocking that's going to ruin the story mode. Now, I haven't played that much of the story. I played some. But, not a huge amount because I didn't want to actually ruin the story by seeing things. But as I've been playing through the story mode, I've been looking at all the objects and everything that they have. They have broken carts. I remember they had broken carts, and you'd think that would be under under city, but there's no broken cart in here whatsoever. There is a cart here somewhere. It might be under shop, maybe. There's a wagon. There is a wagon wheel. Oh, that's a new one now. I haven't seen the wagon wheel, so there's at least one new object. Weapon rack, yeah, we used that one. Wagon. I don't see a broken cart, though. And there might be a few new ones here in the Dugar City. I didn't use a lot of that for my different modules. Yeah, I remember hearing that one. So we got a metal wall here. I bet you that's under barricades as well, though. Oh, look at that metal wall. Wow. Traps, pretty much the same traps. Yep. I think there's going to be a lot of posts on the forums tomorrow about really that you've been keeping, not telling us that what's going to be coming in the full release and telling us to be patient, waiting for the full release, but there's not even that much new in the full release. It just seems a little weird. Now, I'm just wondering if maybe there's something wrong. Because the download was only actually 4.8 gigs. That's what Steam downloaded, 4.8 gigs. And I know that the pre-release builds were like 4 gigs and 4 and some change. And then they had a 1.2 gig patch the other day, so everybody can get their modules back. So I'm wondering if somehow they didn't update the right version. I don't know. It just seems a little weird that there wouldn't be more of everything in here. I'm just so befuddled right now. This might be new. I don't remember seeing that guy, but I mean, what? This is what they've been hiding from us all this time. I think there was these guys, and there was Umber Hulks. Oh, wait, we get to see it again. So it's in, what, 2 categories? Underdark Denizens and Drow. Oh, my gosh. Ugh. That one looks pretty cool. Kind of like the black, the white hair stands out. That looks pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, it's just so shocked. A Cultist is new. A Hezru is new. A Vrerok is new. A couple, a Lich and a couple other things in the one category are new. These are all been here forever. And these have been here. These have been here. These have been here. These are just a couple weeks old, but they're not new. I don't know. I just don't know, folks. I wish I did for you. I wish I really did. That's kind of an interesting combo there. Ooh, I do kind of like the white and the green. That's kind of cool. With the red skeleton. That's pretty cool looking. Yeah, so not that many new locations, a couple new ones. So it gives us extra large areas to play with and create our modules. Maybe I would say 6 to 8 new locations. Fortunately, like I said, most of them are large. There is no new underground areas for dungeon building. They're all pretty much still the same. As far as characters goes, we just talked about them. No new regular characters, and the monsters, very few new ones. So I don't know. I want to try and re-download and see if there's something. I thought the reason I think is I thought they said it was going to be 12.8 gigs, but at this point I'm not getting 12.8. Now that could be because I've already downloaded the Head Start stuff and it's just adding, maybe it's just taking and adding to that with the new stuff. Maybe that's why it's only 4 gigs. But it's only 4.8 gigs of new stuff. It's kind of disappointing. Really it is. I mean, just not having access to a lot of objects I think people are going to go ballistics on the forums. I think they are going to go ballistics. That we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the full release so we'd have access to everything, and there's not that much new. There's only a few new things. And like I said, questing, nothing. Characters, locations. I don't see what they're trying to hide from us in the story mode. That's so going to be like so alterating and shocking that they had to keep all of this stuff from us, especially in Head Start 5, which was 4 days ago. Why 4 days ago, when we had access to the full story, they couldn't give us access to all this stuff? Because they didn't want to ruin the story. But really, seriously, I mean, there's not that much new stuff. Something awe-inspiring. You know, I was thinking I was going to come over here to the devils, and there was going to be, you know, several big devils here that they didn't want us to let us know what kind of devils that were in the game. And there's none of the normal D&D, just there's no gnolls, there's no orcs, there's no kobolds, hill giants. You can see the devils and demons are very, very limited. I mean, if you're trying to get a protagonist to your module, you know, somebody that's going to be the main boss that they have to hunt down to kill. You know, obviously maybe a lich, but I mean, besides that, the options are obviously very, very limited. I mean, of course, you know, you can use a mercenary captain and basically you know, make a high-level mercenary captain with all kinds of special powers and everything, but let's see it here, shall we? Weapons. Seems to be some new, different kinds of shields. That's, you know, I don't think there was all these different kinds of maces, so obviously some new, plenty of different daggers. Quarterstaffs. That's interesting. It goes quarterstaff, then it goes to great club, and then goes back to quarterstaff. Oops. I'm going to equip this so I can see what it looks like. Okay, we've seen that one. I know we've seen that. Okay, so this is basically the same quarterstaff, but one of them has a little blue thing on it, and the other one has a black piece. I mean, and this is like a lighter colored staff. It's basically the same, reusing the same objects over and over again. Armor, let's look at armor. I'm sure there's probably some new armor here. We didn't get to look at all the different kinds of armor. Yeah, that one looks new. I don't remember ever being able to have access to that. I think we had access to that one, but I know there's probably a lot of people digging into it right now just to see, just to find out what the heck have they been hiding from us for the last 2 months, and the last month especially, where they're talking about we don't want to ruin the story. Well, what the hell? I mean, Human Slums and Cemetery, we knew that was coming because we saw a video that they did a long time ago that had Human Slums and Cemetery. Uh, this is a new area, but this is basically the map that's on the beginning of the story. This is where the beginning of the story starts. So if you play 10 minutes or 30 minutes of the story, you'll see this area. So that's not a big spoiler. I mean, seriously, come on. Is that a spoiler? There's no new mountains. There's no new grasslands. There's no new swamps. Again, Underdark there probably is, but I don't know for sure. This might be new. Actually, I remember seeing this, so I don't think this is new. This might be new. This might be new, but I don't know about that. Of course, these are new. And that's new, but oh my gosh, is that a spoiler for the story? I don't know. Color me disappointed right now, to tell you the truth. Color me very disappointed. The fact that they try to keep their monsters in multiple categories so that they make it seem like they have more than they actually have, and the fact that they've done the exact same thing with the objects makes me think, well, what the hell are they thinking? Oh, I tried to tell people. I tried to warn everybody. I tried to argue and fight with them on the forums, but it's not worth it because they don't listen. But I don't know. I just don't see anything in here that's been like, oh my god, I can't believe that's in the game. That's going to be so awesome. Let's see. Defeat the boss. Let's see if there's any. There's the Ashen Priest, Mercenary Leader, Necromancer Spirit, the Demon Wemtera, the Demonic Shadow, and the Master Assassin. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6. I think there was only 5. They might have added one that I'm not sure about. I think there was only 5. I could be wrong. Maybe there was 6. So, I mean... I'm just trying to figure out what is so... I don't know, folks. That's it. You see everything I've seen. And it's not that much. The new stuff is very, very, very limited. Let's see what this thing looks like at least. Well, it's nice looking. I just wish there was more of them. More kinds of new interesting things. Izaraxu. Iziraxu. I'm not sure I even know how to say that. Anyways, I don't know. I'm going to try and maybe see, check the forums, maybe try to download again, but I think this is everything. And if this is everything, oh man, the forums are going to explode tomorrow. And we all know this is going to be a work in progress, and in a few months, you know, once they start fixing everything and adding a few features in and start releasing DLC, hopefully it'll just keep getting better and better. But seriously, what game? Seriously. And I'm asking you as an honest, if you are a D&D player, has there ever been a D&D game released anywhere ever that doesn't have orcs in it besides this one? I mean, does that really make sense to you? That they don't have like kobolds, orcs, gnolls. I mean, some of the just common sense creatures that have been with D&D from the beginning. I'm just trying to think of some other monsters that are just mainstay monsters. Of course, giants, hill giants, stone giants. There's no giants in here. Now, I think they had mentioned that giants were going to come later. So, okay, I can understand since they've told us those were going to come later. They wouldn't be included in this version. That's fine, but how do you not include some of the normal kobolds? Everybody wants to. I mean, my best friend plays a kobold as a character in a D&D face-to-face D&D game. I mean, the kobolds are like D&D 101, and kobolds with dragons. Obviously, we didn't see any dragons. Demons and devils are very limited. I just can't believe that they didn't release a D&D game without having orcs. I mean, of all the creatures people want to go and fight, and now there is no half-orc race. Maybe they're waiting to have like a half-orc race / orcs added in as like a DLC, but that is just wrong. That is absolutely wrong. There has never been a D&D game that I can think of released on the computer that doesn't have orcs in it. God. I mean, all the Lord of the Rings games that have been released have orcs in them. And even the Lego version has orcs. Color me disappointed, I guess. I was expecting to see a lot more than I do, and I'm not seeing it. So, I mean, if this is the full version, they've got a lot of work to do, and I can see why there was a lot of pissed off people, including me. I went nuts over Head Start 5, where they basically nerfed everything. And they only added the story mode in because they wanted everybody to play the story and not DM and create adventures and everything. Of course, this is just my own personal view. And they nerfed all of the DM stuff so that people would play the single player game and come up with all the, find all the, if there was anything broken in the quest or, nothing was working right, and post that information so they could fix it before final release. And if they had all the options in the DM mode, then a lot of people would be spending time creating stuff and not playing the story mode. But I can't believe there is no hobgoblins and bugbears, but those guys have been there for a while, but there's only like one of each. That's it. And the fact that they keep using the same creatures over and over and over again just... So we have spiders and sewer creatures. We have spiders and beasts. And we have spiders in the spider category. So spiders are in 3 categories. Not all of them, mind you, but some of them have been copied and pasted into other categories. And even the giant wolf spider has been copied and pasted from the spider category. Oh, look, it's the same thing. And here, the whole thing was we were going to be able to create all these awesome adventures, be able to have access to everything and, let your imagination go crazy. And, I've been saying, okay, that's great. We'll have to wait for full version. We'll have to see. But there isn't that many new things in this full version right now. And all the objects that I've seen, that's why I was excited for the release tonight at midnight. I stayed up for the release because I wanted to see what was going in it right away. And one of the things, when I was playing through the single player campaign, I only played maybe 2 hours of it. And some of the things that I saw was I was looking specifically for objects. There's tons of objects that we don't have access to. They're not here. The broken carts, there's dead bodies littered everywhere. There's dead bodies. I mean, and they're not like the same body that we have access to. If we go to death, we have access probably to the same 2 stupid bodies we've had since day one. A human corpse, female, and a human male. Those 2 stupid corpses are the only ones we have access to. If you play through the story mode, there's, without giving away any spoilers, that you go into a cave in the beginning of the story, and there's dead bodies that look different, littered everywhere. So, and I was thinking, oh great, I can't wait for the full release. We'll have access to all these things, so I don't need to put out the same 2 stinking corpses that we've been using for the last month. I'll be able to have access to a whole bunch of new things. Oh. Alright folks, well that is the full release version of Sword Coast Legends. October 20th. We're going to find out what happens tonight and tomorrow on the forums. I think a lot of people are going to explode because I think there's a lot of people that's seen the story mode and said, oh wow, look at all that stuff in your story mode that we'll have access to. And well, we don't have access to it. So anybody that would release a D&D game without orcs is just blind. They don't understand D&D. They don't understand D&D players, and they don't understand the history of D&D. How in the hell can you not do that? That is totally irresponsible and stupid. I hate to say it, but once again, Endspace has shown their colors when it comes to creating this game. This is ridiculous. Disappointment amounts. So we'll look at it again later on. Like I said, maybe I didn't get the whole version. I'm going to try and re-download it and see. And if that is the case, then I apologize for everything. But if that is not the case, then I stand by my words. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.